All right, happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to Survive to Thrive. Today, we're going to talk about your morning routine. We're going to talk about time blocking, and we're going to talk about creating standards. So first of all, let's start off with your morning routine. Where do you think that starts? When does the morning routine start? I'll give you the answer. It's the night before. It's the night before when you make a decision what time your day is going to start the next day. Now, you're going to start the day one of two ways. You're either going to start the day on purpose or you're going to start the day um, just letting it happen. All right. Now, I would encourage you want to create a new habit that's going to take you further in life, personally, professionally, get out of bed earlier. If you survey the most successful people in the world, it doesn't matter what they do, real estate, corporate, sports, the service, they all get out of bed early. And Zig Ziglar calls it victory of the pillow. So what I want you to do is take your opportunity clock. It's not an alarm clock. Take your opportunity clock and set it for 5 a.m. Set it for 5:30 a.m. Set it for a time that is earlier than you're waking up currently. You're going to add time to every day, which is going to have enormous value for you over time. Now, when you set your opportunity clock for 5 a.m. and you take this opportunity clock and you put it in the kitchen next to the coffee pot, you are going to get out of bed to go turn off the opportunity clock versus rolling over and hitting snooze. So it's going to cause you to get out of bed. Now, hopefully, by the time you get to the kitchen and you get to that coffee pot, you're more motivated by the coffee than you are by going back to bed. Now, what I want you to do after that, give yourself 15 minutes to wake up, and then I want you to time block for spiritual growth. I want you to time block for physical energy. In other words, I want you to exercise. And I want you to time block to read, to study, to grow mentally, read books. Now, when I say that, what I'm talking about is ideally, I want you to have a book in one hand and a highlighter in the other hand. Kindle works because you can highlight, but it's so much better than listening to a book. Yeah, books on recording are fine. To me, they're not the same. But if that's what you're doing, it's better than nothing at all. Now, the next thing I want you to do is in that morning routine, make sure that you have time for family. It's one of the most important things for you. Make sure that you're time blocking your morning so that you have time to spend with your family before you leave for work. So the first thing you're going to do is get out of bed earlier, victory of the pillow. And you are going to block time for spiritual growth, mental growth, and physical energy. Then you're going to have time with your family in order to build energy within your family. Now, the goal is within 90 days, 6 months, a year from now, if I were to reach out to you and I would say, okay, Nathan, 1 to 10, spiritual, physical, family, business, give me a number, 1 to 10 on each of those. The goal is that we're moving towards 10. If you ask yourself that same question today, I guarantee the number is going to be much lower. How do I know that? Because it is for me. All right. The next thing I want you to do is time block your day. All right. And when I mean that, ideally, I want you to have a calendar, and I know I get kicked back with this. I want you to have a calendar that looks like this. I want you to be able to look at your calendar at a glance. Matter of fact, if you go to Staples or Office Depot and you look for these calendars, they're called at a glance. And I want you to be able to open up your calendar and see the entire week at a glance. This sits on my desk in front of me, and I look at it all day long. And I know that's not going to sit well with some of you. I know some of you are like, oh my God, John, that's so 80s. Get with it. My calendar is in my phone. Well, here's the challenge with that. You're not constantly looking at it because you can't be on your phone talking to somebody and looking at your calendar at the same time. Matter of fact, how do I know? I call somebody and I schedule an appointment with them, Anna, and I hear, wait a minute. What are they doing? They're taking their phone away from their ear to open up their calendar. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there waiting for them to come back. And I've got my calendar sitting right in front of me. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, Anna, I'm good Wednesday at noon, or would Thursday at 2 be better for you? And then I hear, wait a minute. And a couple of minutes later, they come back and say, Thursday at 2. All right. If they had this, they would have answered that question super quick. All right. Here's the other thing it'll do for you. It's super accountability. If you notice, my calendar is color coded. All right. Green means money. When I was in production, green were listing appointments. If I looked down at my calendar and there's a lot of green, I'm good. If I look at my calendar and there's no green, I'm not good. He has personal time. That's super important, that you're time blocking for you and for your personal growth. Anna, you're getting ready to go on vacation. Sorry for telling the world, but I know that we just talked about this in a coaching call, and that's your pink time, girl. That's awesome. I'm so happy for you and proud of you and jealous. Okay, so you're time blocking your day. How are you time blocking your day? I want you to time block 3 hours every day for lead generation. Critically important. Now, what's the best time of day in order to time block that time? Early in the morning. Why early in the morning? A couple of reasons. Number one, your energy is higher. Second reason, if you time block lead generation in the afternoon or evening, there's going to be a better chance that life is going to interrupt that. Something's going to come up that's going to cause you to erase lead generation from your calendar. In the morning, there's less of a chance that something's going to come up that's going to cause you to erase that time. Now, I want you to live by the rule that if you erase, you must replace. So if for some reason something comes up that causes you to not be in that 3 hours of lead generation every day, if Tuesday or Wednesday, something happens and you're not able to make it. We were at the rally in Orlando a week ago, so we weren't in lead generation. So what did I have? What did we do? Well, we replaced that somewhere else in our calendar. Maybe we add an hour a day until we've made up that 3 hours, or maybe we add an extra day. Maybe we lead generate on Saturday in order to replace that time. All right, the last thing that I want to talk to you about is standards. Now, what I want you to do is, and these standards are mostly based on lead generation, okay? So the first thing I want you to have is the number of hours that you're going to be in lead generation. I said 3 hours. By the way, 3 hours may not be enough. It may take 4. It may take 5. My friend Corey Edwards, who runs a $100 million team, lead generates 8 hours a day. That's his job. He's a full-time prospector for seller listings and appointments. So whatever the amount of time is it takes you to hit your goals, then that's your standard. The standard is non-negotiable. It's not a goal. It's not, I hope to do this. It's, this is my job. It is non-negotiable. The next thing that you're going to set standards for are the number of calls that you're going to make, or the number of doors you're going to knock on. How many outgoing calls are you going to make during that lead generation time? The next thing you're going to create a standard for is contacts. How many people am I going to speak to every single day? It's a standard. The next thing you're going to set a standard for are appointments scheduled. How many appointments are you going to schedule every day? It's a standard. The next thing you're going to create a standard for is appointments sat. It's a standard. How many face-to-face conversations are you going to have with buyers and sellers every single day? The next thing you're going to set a standard for is new leads. So I'm adding leads to my database. I'm making calls, and I call someone on a circle prospecting call, and the end of the call is, hey, by the way, I like to keep my friends and family members updated on the market. That simply means that I send them interesting information on the real estate market once a month, and I call every 3 or 4 months. Would it be okay if I added you to that group And they say, yes, of course, I'd love to be in that group. So we have this person out here that's I haven't met, and we move them here as a new met, and that's a new lead. If we did that every single day, if we had a standard of creating one new met a day or one new lead a day, and we work 250 days a year, that's plus 250 new leads. That's a big deal. And you did it by creating a standard of one new lead a day. Now, let's say these are your standards. You're going to focus on 3 hours of lead generation every day. You're going to make 60 outgoing calls. You're going to talk to your standard, let's make it 15. I'm not going to stop until I've had 15 conversations. And I am going to schedule at least 2 face-to-face appointments every single day. And if I'm scheduling 2 appointments every single day or 10 a week, typically about 80% of them are going to sit with you. You're going to have cancellations and no-shows. So appointment sat, let's just say I have to be face-to-face with one person every single day. That's allowing a 50% cancellation, by the way. And I have one new lead every day. So there it is. My standard is 3 hours of lead generation a day, 60 calls per day, 15 contacts per day, 2 appointments scheduled per day, whichever comes last. 15 contacts, 2 appointments every single day, whichever comes last, which, by the way, is going to affect this. Because if it takes 4 hours to do this, well, then that's the amount of time that you're going to be in lead generation off the screen. There we go, 4 hours. All right. I'm going to sit on 1 appointment every single day, and I'm going to add 1 new lead to my database every single day. When you do this, you should 250 appointments times a 20% conversion ratio should lead to 50 sales. If you want to sell 50 homes per year, there's the recipe. There's the blueprint. Just do it. All right, talk to me.
You know, John, an area that that is not actually being taught in our industry, I feel. I'm not generalizing, but I think that when you're talking um, about going to bed, about your rituals, you know, one ritual that I've been taught throughout the years is going to bed early as well. I think that for me, when I really fully understood the power of really having my body ready for the next day, I'm able to show up like you're putting on the whiteboard right here. And, you know, we have an amazing opportunity to create an incredible life, each and every one of us. We really do. We're all, each entrepreneurs and we're independent contractors. It's a beautiful thing, you know, but there's also some ingredients that need to go into to making this cake. And the morning and the evening rituals, it's one of the things that I like to just put into your discussion this morning.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, Nathan. Totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. Clarissa, talk to us.
So that's one of the things I've been working on personally, that getting to bed earlier. And I've always been a early riser. And I also follow savers. I can't remember the guy who wrote that book. He wrote a real estate book also that talked about morning ritual. Can't pull his name. But his acronym for the morning rituals is called SAVERS. The S is for spiritual, A is for affirmation, V is for visualization, E is for exercise, R, reading, and the S is for scribing, journaling.
Mhm.
And in the book, he outlines that you could get all of that done within 10 to 15 minutes. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be a 30-minute exercise program. It could be just a, 40 push-ups, or, something to get the body in motion and to heat it up.
Yep.
Also about the alarm, that opportunity clock,
Mhm.
putting it in the bathroom away from the bed, so you are forced to get up. And once you're forced to get up, while you're already up, just go ahead, brush your teeth, wash your face, get ready.
Mhm.
So working on, my biggest problem is not waking up early. I get up at 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock, but it's just getting to bed.
Yeah, so everything is a habit, Clarissa. Well done, by the way. And everything is a habit, including what time we go to bed every night, right? Yeah, and I get that. I understand that. So keep working on it. It's going to take time. If you're currently going to bed at 11, uh, work on
And waking up at 4. Yeah.
yeah, work on 10:30. Okay. So get in a habit of going to bed 1/2 hour earlier. It'll make a difference. And then get that back down to 10. Okay. And over time, you'll get to that time where you want to go to bed every night. Belly, talk to me.
For those who struggle to go to bed early, I recommend to shut off the devices anything an hour earlier.
Yeah. Thank you.
100%.
Thank you for that. If you're going to bed and you're looking at this, this is keeping you awake, by the way. You can Google it. It's actually scientifically proven.
It's not your spouse,
Yeah.
it's the device. Okay, just want to be clear in that.
That was great, Belly. Yeah.
The TV as well. The
Yeah.
TV is also that
There you
that
go.
ultra blue wave light. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it does. It's sending a lot of messages
There you go.
to our subconscious mind.
One more thing, Nathan, sorry, and one more thing
Yes.
is super important. Obviously, I recommend this. Go to sleep on a place that is dark. Try to have curtains that are cover any light, and it will help you to go to sleep a lot faster. It will be, and you can rest a lot more. Trust me on that.
Yeah. Another thing I like to, there's an exercise that I did was for the last hour, okay, the hour that I wake up and the hour that I go to bed, I journal for every 10 minutes of what I do, because I didn't really realize what kind of habit I did have until I really wrote it down. And I was like, oh my gosh. So for the first hour in the morning, at one time I was on social media, like,
Mhm.
an hour, and when I really start breaking that down, I was able to really see my habits, because I think that's a lot of things that a lot of times we don't even know what our habits look like.
Mhm.
We're so much in a habitual mindset that we don't even realize what we're doing. So I would suggest that you journal, what you're doing the last hour before you go to bed, and the first hour you wake up, so you can really see your habits.
Great stuff today, guys. Really good stuff. Thank you for